Hello everyone, here are the latest market news on April the 16th, 2020. Australia extends restrictions for 4 more weeks. Australia's Prime Minister Scott Morrison said on Thursday the country will retain restrictions on public movement for at least 4 more weeks, claiming that sustained low growth and new cases could spur a quicker return to normal. Australia closed its borders and imposing strict social distancing measures for the past month to prevent the spread of coronavirus. Restaurants, bars, and other non-essential business have been shuttered and public gatherings of more than 2 people banned under the threat of fines and even prison. In response, the daily rate of reported new infections has started in the low single digits from about 25% several weeks ago, with a total number of about 6,500 infections, including 63 deaths. Still, Morrison said the rules would not be relaxed until national testing capacity has been increased, contact tracing of known COVID-19 cases expanded, and a response to any future outbreak fully prepared. New budget iPhone lacks 5G for Chinese customers. Apple Inc.'s new iPhone SE for the budget-conscious is unlikely to be a major driver of sales in China, with analysts noting it lacks the 5G capability that most new Chinese smartphones in a similar price range offer. In a poll conducted on social media site Weibo, 60% of roughly 350,000 respondents said that it would not buy the $399 model, the cheapest iPhone available. Apple's market share in China, its third biggest market where it gains around 15% of its sales, has slumped over the past several years as Chinese Android brands steadily release higher-end phones. Competition has only become fiercer as rivals are now releasing 5G devices compatible with China's upgraded telecommunications network, while Apple has yet to launch an iPhone with 5G capability. Meanwhile, last week, the US tech giant led several Chinese online retailers to reduce iPhone 11 prices by as much as 17% to spur demand. Shares fall, dollar climbs on weak economic data. Global stock markets retreated from their highest levels, while the dollar extended gains on Thursday as the weak economic data from U.S. reduced appetite for risk. According to the data, U.S. retail sales fell the most on record last month, and manufacturing output showed the biggest drop in 74 years, raising fears of a deep recession. Another vital figure on weekly jobless claims in the United States is expected later in the day. E-mini futures for the S&P 500 declined 0.5% in Asia after a 2.2% drop on the index on Wednesday. MSCI's broadest index of Asia-Pacific shares outside Japan lost about 1%, whipping out the early week gains that had taken the index to its best level since mid-March. In Japan, where the most firms feel stimulus measures announced so far were insufficient, the main benchmark Nikkei lost 1.3%. The US dollar extended its rally against the risk-sensitive currencies, marking its biggest two-day gains against the Australian and New Zealand dollars in a month. U.S. government will buy farm goods as a support. Agriculture Secretary Sonny Perdue stated that the Trump administration plans to buy milk and meat from U.S. farmers as part of an initial $15.5 billion effort to help them weather the impact of the coronavirus outbreak. The decision comes amid rising pressure from the U.S. farm lobby for government purchases as growers and ranchers struggle to get their goods to market because of disruptions caused by the pandemic. Such situation forced some of them to throw out their supplies. "We want to purchase as much of this milk or other protein products, hams and pork products, and move them into where they can be utilized in our food banks or possibly even into international humanitarian aid," Perdue said in an interview on Fox Business Network.